Hello. We're going to do Zecher Bereshis, covered Shabbos. We're going to start now with alligators and crocodiles. We did lizards, which is over 3,000 species. With alligators and crocodiles, there's only a handful of species. There were only, in the whole world, there's only two species of alligators. There's the American alligator, which lives in Florida and Louisiana, states like that. And then there's the Chinese alligator. In South America, there's an animal called a caiman, C-A-I-M-A-N. And there are 7 species of them, and they look very similar to alligators, but apparently they're different species. The black caiman is the one that's most common down there in South America. As far as crocodiles go, there are 16 species of crocodiles in the world. Most of them live in rivers and other fresh waters, but the biggest of all is the saltwater crocodile. And it's spread out all over in the waters off the coasts of India, Australia, and the Pacific Islands. There is one species of another animal called a gavial that lives in India, in India, and then there's another one called a false gharial that lives in Indonesia. Anyway, the top picture here is the American crocodile, which is near Haiti, and the bottom one is an American alligator. The alligators and the caimans have broad snouts, and the teeth fit into the mouth when they close their mouth. Crocodiles have much narrower snouts, and I think 4 of the teeth remain outside their jaw when they close their mouth. Now, Hashem's wisdom and power can be seen in the very useful design of the bodies He gave these animals, and the powerful abilities that they have as well. They spend a lot of time in the water, where they move very gracefully and easily and fast, if they need to be fast, propelled by their powerful tails. They hold their legs close to their body so that they are streamlined for smoother movement through the water, and they also can use their tails as rudders to change direction. And Hashem designed their back feet to be webbed to help them with their swimming. On land, they usually walk slowly, but some of them can move quite fast if they want to. There are some species, I'm not sure which ones they are, that can run as fast as 27 miles an hour, which is faster than any person can run, up to 270 feet. So you don't want to get too close to those species. Now, they're cold-blooded animals, and that means that their body temperature is affected by their surroundings. They don't have fur like mammals, they don't have feathers like birds to keep them warm. So what they do is they move in and out of the water to either warm up or to cool down. And they spend a lot of time laying out on sandbanks sunbathing to warm up. They're usually found on the shallow waters near the edge because they need to be able to go back in the water quickly if they need to get cooler. Okay, we have 2 pictures here. The top picture is laying on a log out in the water is a black caiman. And the bottom picture is this strange-looking animal called a gharial, or gavial, in India. You'll notice the funny thing on his growth on his nose. Okay, so now, and as we said, they live in the shallow water near the banks. They bask in the sun on the banks, and the females will lay their eggs over there as well. And the shallow water also has a lot of plants for them to hide among, and an abundance of animals to eat. Now, the temperature of the water does not vary as much as the temperatures on dry land do, which helps keep their body temperature steady. So to warm up, they'll bask in the sun. As the day gets very hot, it gets too hot for them, so the first thing they'll do is they'll open their jaws wide. And they'll just leave them open, and that prevents them getting too hot, because the breeze flows over the surface of their mouth and their tongue. The moisture dries up, and that cools off their blood. But they may go take a swim or crawl into a shady spot to cool down as well. At night, they slip back into the water, because the air gets chilly at night in the land, but the water stays warmer for a longer time at night than land does. Another interesting thing about, I guess, all reptiles is they don't have to eat as much as mammals do to keep warm. They're getting warm from the surroundings around them, so they don't have to eat as much, and that helps them because they don't have to use a lot of energy catching food all the time. They can last a pretty long time between meals. Now they do most of their moving around, alligators and crocodiles, in water, because they have very heavy bodies, which the water supports the weight. Whereas on land, they have to carry their heavy bodies around. It's harder for them. Now Hashem designed them with their eyes and their nostrils on top of their head, so they can see and breathe while the rest of their whole body is sunk under the water, so they're camouflaged, so they're safe in case they have some kind of enemies. And they can they can sneak up on their enemies without being seen. On their prey, I should say, without being seen. Most of the time, they look like just a floating log in the water, drifting along. And they will sometimes just wait until something to eat comes right up to them without realizing that they are an alligator or a crocodile. Then they open their mouth and they have their meal. We have 3 pictures on this page I'm going to turn. The top one is a South American crocodile called the Orinoco crocodile. The bottom 2 pictures, one of them, which is camouflaged so well you probably won't be able to see it well, is called the Cuban crocodile, and the one next to it is the Nile crocodile. Let's see, just its nose and mouth, its nose and eyes above the water. Now the coloring Hashem gave them blends very well into the surroundings also. And many species will change color. At warmer times of the day they may become lighter, and in cool parts of the day, such as the morning, they may look duller and are often mistaken for logs. They have the protection of very heavy armor, powerful jaws, and strong tails. They can swim away from danger, and they can hide under the water in the mud or among the plants. Now, by the time a crocodilian gets to be 3 or 4 feet long, they don't have too many predators that will threaten it. In Africa, there are some. Lions, elephants, and hippopotamuses will attack them to protect their young. And they are no match for those 3 animals. In South America, there are jaguars, and there are giant anaconda snakes that can kill caimans and the crocodile species that live in South America. In the Everglades in Florida, there used to be no predator that could possibly do harm to alligators. However, pet collectors have dropped off many gigantic Burmese python snakes, and they get to be over 20 feet long. And they can get as much as close to 30 feet long, 25 feet long, and they can kill alligators. They can squeeze them to death. The young alligators and crocodiles are in a lot of danger. Many of them don't survive. They have many predators. There are birds of prey that eat them: raccoons, otters, pelicans, herons, tigerfish, monitor lizards. Hashem made it that they lay many eggs every year so that enough of them will survive as a species. Only 1 in 10 live to a year old, alligators, let's say. The young crocodiles will eat mainly insects. As they get bigger, they'll take larger prey like snails and shrimps and crabs and small fish. And when they're adults, most of the prey that they're eating is fish. Crocodilians can smell food over long distances. They are known to have come from as far away as almost 2 miles to get some prey that they smell, the carcass of a large animal. The picture on top is an alligator half buried in the mud, on the sand, muddy sand, very good camouflage. And the bottom shows a picture of an alligator, you can hardly see him, swimming in a river in Georgia. Okay, now Hashem gave them good eyesight, and they can see in color as well. Their eyes are designed to see well in the dark, and they do most of their hunting at night. The dark vertical pupil in their eye, it narrows down to a slit, very narrow, to stop bright light from damaging the eye in the daytime. At night, the pupil opens wide to allow all the available light to enter the eye. Hashem gave them a special layer of tissue at the back of the eye that reflects light back into the front of the eye, so they can see better. Above the water, crocodiles can spot, and alligators, they can spot prey up to 275 feet away. Underwater, they have an inner transparent lid that covers and protects the eye. They have 3 eyelids. They have an upper and a lower eyelid, and they have a third one at the side which moves across the eye to clean the eye's surface. They have sharp hearing. They listen both for danger and for any prey moving nearby. They also were given sensitive scales along the sides of their jaws, which helps them feel and then capture prey. They are a demonstration of Hashem's power, crocodiles and alligators. Their bite is the strongest of any animal. Here's a nice picture of an alligator, very well camouflaged in algae. Okay, they have been given powerful jaws and teeth to seize prey. What they usually do is they'll drag it down under the water. They'll pull it into the water to drown it. And then after that, they'll tear it to pieces to swallow it in pieces. Hashem gave them jaws with huge muscles to snap them shut with such force. Okay, we'll stop here. Have a good Shabbos. We'll continue with more about crocodiles and alligators next week.